Hi, I'm Bill again. This is Horsemen of the Apocalypse, Book 2. This is Book 2. Horsemen of the Apocalypse, Book 2. As the Crow Flies. Sorry, can't see a bloody thing. Sorry. Yeah, is that better? Checking a picture, sorry. I bought a new phone and it was crap, sorry. Anyway, The Horsemen of the Apocalypse, Book 2 by William Joseph Bailey. That'll do. Chapter 1. Undead in New York. Oh. The date is Tuesday, for the 16th, 1912. Russell McNulty, a tall, handsome, ginger-haired teenage boy, dressed in a brown tweed suit and beige straw boater hat. Yeah, I'm reading from a script. Banded by an orange satin ribbon. Knocks on the door of apartment 35 of the luxury hotel on the corner of Anthony and Cross Streets in the Manhattan district of New York. A 5-story wooden boarding house in one of the rougher neighbourhoods of the city. Oh. Reading there. Use your bloody key, shouts Bill Bones, a young Jewish ex-undertaker, lying on his left side in an old wooden double bed, wrapped up tight in a beige woolen blanket facing the broken window. Russell opens the door. I don't need to, laughs the young hustler. The lock is broken anyway. He sits down on the left-hand side of the moth-eaten white-sheeted mattress. Bill sits up and picks up his pocket watch from the bedside cabinet. It is only 9 o'clock in the morning. He pauses. Did you wake up early, or are you coming home late? Late, laughs Russell. I was chatting to the owner of a local billiards hall last night. I've been hustling there for a few nights now. Russell scratches his clean-shaven chin. You don't mind me doing business, do you? He asks. I don't want you to get jealous. The long brown-haired young handsome Jew breathes a heavy sigh. What the fuck do you think I was doing last night when you weren't here? Wanking? Asks the young ginger-haired hustler. I met these 2 gorgeous Irish boys down at the local bathhouse on Little Water Street, actually. One of them blew me in the shower room, while his brother buggered my arse, laughs Bill. Anyway, what did the owner of the hall have to say? Oh yes, I was playing a game of pool with this puzzled-looking, smart-suited 30-year-old Italian fella. Quite a charming man, actually. Judging by his suit, I knew he must be rich. Mr. Torrio told me that he was visiting from Chicago to keep an eye on his businesses here in New York City, which he does once a month. Russell strikes a match and lights a cigarette. Anyway, I was just about to chat the dude up for a trick when he offers me a job in one of his boss's brothels on Orange Street. Hence the straw hat, he laughs. Russell takes off his tweed jacket, throws the hat onto the floor and unbuttons his white collarless shirt. I bought you the morning newspaper on my way home. He takes the rolled up New York Times out of his right trouser pocket and hands it to Bill. The handsome teenage hustler stands up and unbuttons his trousers. I got chatting to the paper boy, some 13-year-old kid called Alfie. He told me that the Titanic had sunk. There goes the cruise you promised me, laughed the young, handsome, rosy-cheeked, freckle-faced male prostitute, wearing a pair of red cotton long johns. He pulls back the blankets and climbs into bed to the right of his friend. The Jewish ex-undertaker reads the New York Times newspaper aloud. Titanic sinks 4 hours after hitting iceberg. 866 rescued by Panther. Probably 1,250 perish. Bill starts giggling. Thank God it didn't sink on the return voyage to England. We would have been on board. The long brown-haired undead Jew gasps a heavy sigh. Did you enjoy that? Asks the ginger-haired teenager, raising his head above the blanket. I was getting thirsty. Yeah, I'm still reading from the script. Who is the guy's boss? Asked Bill, unbuttoning the handsome teenage lad's red long johns and putting them over the boy's shoulders. You are very beautiful, he sighs. Ah, fuck it. So you keep telling me, laughs Russell McNulty. Some gangster called Paul Kelly. The boxer? Asks the long-haired Jew. Yeah, that's him. He runs one of the local street gangs, so I've been told. Maybe you can find me a job, suggests Bill, wanking the teenager's long, thick 7-inch penis slowly up and down, before sucking his cock until the boy comes down Bill's throat. The time is midday on Wednesday, the 17th of April, 1912. Paola Antonio Vassarelli, also known as Paul Kelly, is practicing with a sand-filled cloth punching bag as usual in his gym in Cross Street. He is 35 years old and the leader of the 5 Points gang in New York City. Do you fancy a pizza? He asks. It is nearly time for lunch, and I would hate you to die on an empty stomach for wasting my time, he laughs. Hell, don't look so worried. I am only joking. To be honest, I'm really not that keen on pizzas, frowns the ex-undertaker. They taste like cardboard. Actually, I'm looking for a job, smiles the long brown-haired Jew. And what possible use would I have for you? Asks the mob boss, buttoning up his freshly laundered, starched white-collar shirt. I mean, no offence, but I really don't need a rabbi right now. Do you have a penknife handy? Asks Bill. Or a letter opener will do. He suggests. The mob boss puts his right hand behind his back and pulls out a 9-inch long, bone-handled silver dagger, which he had tucked down the back of his pinstripe trousers. Will this do? Bill is still wearing his tatty black and grey funeral suit and an old battered black top hat. He holds the knife in his right hand, rests the palm of his left hand on the battered old boxing bag, and stabs the dagger through the back of the hand. Fuck! That hurt a hell of a lot more than I thought it would, he said. He sighs through gritted teeth. Slowly he pulls out the blade and holds up his left hand. Bloody hell! Gasps Kelly. I hope you haven't damaged my bag. He pauses. Hang on. Where the fuck is all the blood? Paul scratches his head. The knife cut in Bill's hand heals up within a couple of minutes. I am undead, he explains. The Sioux Indians call me Tamsiniho, the man who has no blood. But you can call me Bill Crow. Well, Mr. Crow, laughs the gangster. You would surely make one hell of a shadow man if you don't mind getting shot occasionally. Watching my back can be a rather dangerous job at times. I have a lot of enemies. Paul chuckles. Come with me. The gangster suggests. Walking to the He chuckles. Come with me, the gangster suggests, walking to the other end of the gymnasium and unlocking the door of the cleaning closet. He opens the door and takes out a mop and a bucket. Do you want me to mop the floor for you as well? Asks the undead Jewish ex-undertaker. Paul taps his nose with his left forefinger and pulls a wooden broom handle towards him. A lever operating a secret panel in the back of the closet, opening a concealed door. Welcome to the family, he laughs. The club, hidden behind closed doors, consists of a well-stocked bar, 2 roulette tables, and several smartly dressed young men wearing beige boater hats, banded with various coloured ribbons, playing poker with 3 smartly dressed middle-aged businessmen around 2 large green based wooden tables. The undead Jew takes a black ebony pipe and a pouch of tobacco out of his left trouser pocket. Do you mind, he asks, politely, holding the pipe in his left hand. Kelly reaches into his white trouser pocket and takes out a small lump of opium. He hands it to Bill. Please be my guest. He smiles. A young olive-skinned 15-year-old Italian boy taps the boss on the right shoulder and whispers into his ear. Johnny took on another trick last night. Paul Kelly sits down on a wooden stool and leans against the bar. Duncan, a young 18-year-old effeminate Jewish bartender, wearing a white shirt, black waistcoat and bow tie, pours out 2 tumblers of Kentucky bourbon whiskey. The young Italian lad leans against the bar. I'll have a drink, please, Dunk, he smiles. He turns to face the long-haired, bearded man, standing beside the gang leader, and holds out his right hand. Charlie Luciano. My friends call me Lucky. Bill Crow. I'm very pleased to meet you, Charlie. Chapter 2, The Arizona Deserts. It is 11 o'clock at night on 31st of December 1914, and the Swilling Saloon on Buckeye Road in the city of Phoenix, Arizona, is packed to the rafters. Local residents scrambling for the last drops of alcohol before the prohibition laws come into effect at midnight. Negro labourers, prostitutes, their clients, and several teenage lads from the local Indian school, pushing and shoving one another, trying to get to the front of the bar. Jacob and Gloria Roundtree and Abraham Lincoln Jackson are sitting around a round wooden table in the far left-hand corner of the tavern, sharing the final bottles of Kentucky whiskey and English gin, apart from the cardboard box that Hawakan has hidden under the bar. I am selling the business size to the old Confederate sergeant, now wearing a long-tailed black suit and a grey silk cravat. Why is that? Asks Abe, now dressed in an orange and grey checkered suit, green bow tie and grey bowler hat. "Oh, I just ain't cut out to be an undertaker, I guess," sighs Jake. "The dead don't have that much to say, and I'm bored out of my fucking tiny mind." "To be honest," chuckles the, "sorry, I just ain't cut out to be an undertaker, I guess," sighs Jake. "The dead don't have that much to say, and I'm bored out of my fucking mind, to be honest," chuckles the gingery grey-bearded man. "Not with me, I hope," chuckles Gloria, the buxom brown-skinned madam of the whorehouse next door to the public house. "We are planning on moving as soon as we sell up. I'm thinking of opening a brothel in one of the northern cities, away from all these prohibition laws." "What about you?" asked Jake, turning to face the handsome Negro vampire. "Are you going to stay here in Phoenix?" He asks. "Maybe for a short while. I ain't getting any older now," laughs the young Negro gambler. "Billy said I shouldn't stay in one place for too long, in case people get suspicious." Abraham Lincoln Jackson scratched his chin. "Tell you what. How about if I buy the undertaker's business from you? And at least that way, I will still get fresh blood. So how about I buy the undertaker's off you, and then I'll still get fresh blood?" "The government haven't prohibited blood yet," laughs Abe. "Though I suppose I might have to dress down a bit for the job," he laughs. "Or you could try putting some fun into funerals." The old Confederate sergeant smiles. "Being an undertaker is a bloody depressing occupation. Maybe you should start a jazz band to play at the front of the funeral procession," suggests Jake. "You heard me practicing my trumpet, didn't you?" laughs the handsome black vampire. For some strange reason, I just love blowing the horn these days." Jacob Roundtree swigs another dram of whiskey. Samantha, the pretty coffee-coloured barmaid, and her grandfather, Hawakan, the landlord, are very busy serving the customers with drinks. "Busiest New Year ever," chuckles the old Red Indian medicine man. "It is too bad we are being closed down tomorrow." He frowns, pouring another pitcher of beer for his customers. "So, what are we going to do now?" asks Samantha, looking very worried. Maybe we should move to Chicago and hopefully open up another bar there, where alcohol is still legal." Hawakan pulls down the beer pump with his right arm, but only a few drops from the barrel spit out of the tap. He climbs up onto the bar and coughs. "Sorry, friends, but the bar is now closed," he shouts. "Permanently, unfortunately." "It is only 11:45, sighs Sheriff Jeff Adams, gazing towards the old grandfather clock, ticking away in the corner of the saloon. "And we haven't sung Old Lang Syne yet." "No more beer, my dear friend," explains the old man standing behind the bar. "Closing time, ladies and gentlemen, please," shouts Hawakan. What about last orders? Asked Herbert Grimsby, a spotty-faced 26-year-old shelf-stacker at Harrington's department store on 32nd Street. This bar is now as dry as the Arizona desert, explains the old Red Indian landlord of the Swilling Saloon. Happy New Year anyway, he chuckles. Although, to be honest, I can't see anything happy about being sober.